Gay people of Reddit. What's the hardest part about being gay? No pun intended. Based in an Arab country, being seen as the embodiment of sin and the downfall of morality when all I do is eat McDonald's and watch It's Always Sunny. Trying to gauge if someone's gay or not before asking them out. I've never asked out a guy because I have this fear that a straight guy is going to take offense and punch me. I know it's unlikely, but it sticks in the back of my mind. Edit, just want to say I greatly appreciate the positive comments. I'm overwhelmed and I hope I'm lucky enough to hit on some of you straight guys someday. Coming out every day. It is not a once thing, like when you start a new job or make new friends, or literally just making small talk. My wife and I were on our 5-hour flight recently and a little old lady sat next to us on a full plane. She asked where we were going and where, and she asked why, and we said our anniversary, and she just sat there, lips pursed for the rest of the flight. Also, that people forget gay exists. Like I'm sure a number of people would read this comment under different contexts and just assume a man wrote it because I said my wife. I grew up in a smaller town. I'm bi, so a little of this, a little of that. I had some gay between my mattress and my box spring. Some friends and my ex-girlfriend found it while I was at work. That shit spread like wildfire. My ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend had a blast outing me to anybody who would listen. This was all 15 years ago, and it haunts me to this day. When I texted her again and begged her to stop, she responded with, and never spoke again. Clever. Now it's cool and progressive to support LGBTQ rights. She's an ally and supports love 2,000 miles away from our hometown. You, Candace. Being seen as political just by our sheer existence. It's lonely, especially if you're not an extrovert or a mainstream gay person. This and hating the whole hookup culture hurts the most. I read too many things about gay guys always hooking up and only looking for hookups, so I kinda just end up excluding myself from the gay community. Then being in heavily religious states causes me to feel excluded in the straight communities I've been in. They talk about gays being sinful or talk about girls, and I just stand there and nod. It's genuinely more difficult to find a partner. 90% of your target population ain't interested in you because of your gender, so you got a smaller pool to work with. The internet makes gay people seem much more common than they actually are. Imagine living in the countryside, but the closest gay event is a 2-hour road trip. Your dating pool is non-existent. My straight friends don't understand this. Not being able to show affection towards your significant other in public as openly as straight people without having to worry about who you're going to offend, to the point where they might assault you for it. Having to always guess how it's going to affect you when you out yourself in a new environment, it's like a new workplace, for example. I was once living in a tiny town for work. My aunt asked if I met someone while I was there. She actually didn't push that much, but for some reason, it was my breaking point on like, look, there's 1,000 people in this town. Even if you take a pretty generous cut on half of them being men, 5% being gay, those that are near my age, that are single, that are out, that would be somebody that I'm into, that would be somebody that's into me, we're looking at optimistically like one person, and I don't like them. Career path limitations. Let's say you're working as a construction worker, in finance, or any other non-stereotypically gay industries. You have the option of 1, coming out and risking a weird/hostile treatment even from people who genuinely believe that they're not homophobic. 2, lying and maintaining that lie afterwards, with all the risk that comes with. Or 3, being a weird, standoffish, quiet coworker who only talks about work and never anything personal. Good luck getting promoted or invited for happy tour. The glass ceiling is real. Growing up being taught by your family and society that being gay was evil and disgusting, and everyone in school using gay as an insult. Growing up thinking that you are something inherently evil and you'll suffer for eternity because you were born. Man, does anyone else legitimately pray to God for years to make them normal? I feel like it's definitely something that happens when growing up in a conservative, religious household. The hate. People just don't seem to understand that being gay isn't a life-consuming thing. It's just a part of me. And I feel to the same amount and extent that you do. I don't think about it. I can have normal conversations with people. And just like you, I don't like 99% of my own gender. But people make it so that it's these evil things that changes my entire lifestyle, and I chose it, and it sucks. The expectations to conform to the larger gay community, even if it doesn't match your morals or beliefs at all. Does being a gay leaning bisexual count? I hate how people assume anytime I'm friendly with a guy means that I'm automatically having a thing for them, even if they're 100% straight. A not insignificant part of the population thinks that you shouldn't exist, and some of them follow through on that belief. Rest in peace to the victims of the Colorado Springs shooting. Yeah, my uncle knew a very nice gay couple that lived in his neighborhood in Puerto Rico. About a month after meeting them, both were murdered in cold blood for just holding hands while walking down El Barrio. This happened years ago, but it always sticks with me when I head over there. Being called a groomer and a the ridiculous insults of those who want to perpetrate the hate for their own gain. My older sister once asked me to help lead a Girl Scout troop. I had to explain to her why that would be a bad idea. The lies, they hurt. Being overly realized by the world as a whole. When a majority of gay people act exactly like straight people but are attracted to the same with no major differences beyond that. Having people reject you for who you are and something that you can't change. My dad told me that it was his worst nightmare that I was gay, even though I almost myself 7 years ago, that he knows about, but yeah, no, his worst nightmare was that I was going to be gay. And also has not tried to accept it over the 2 years that I've been out to him. I was in many conservative Christian groups, and I was given a range of negative views, from love the sinner but hate the sin, to you can't be Christian and gay. I left my old church last year because they brought in a guest speaker who went on an anti-LGBTQ rant to the congregation of thousands, and implied that trans people should themselves instead of transitioning into the gender they identify with. I'm not trans, but I was enraged and disgusted by this. I haven't gone back since, and I'm traumatized by Christian people, despite still believing in Jesus myself, who I believe loves and accepts me as a gay man. I kicked out a roommate who Bible thumped me and tried to make me believe I was going to hell for dating men. I have strained relationships with a few childhood friends because of it. I don't ask people to coddle me or have pity on me for being gay, but many people just don't understand how freaking hard it is sometimes to even love yourself when it seems like the world wants you to burn in hell. And I wish people could treat folks like me with respect and kindness when I try to show others. The fear of being able to be affectionate with my significant other in public. Even eating out at a restaurant without the side glances and the giggles from people is a hassle. Will the bill be together or separate? I worry about asking people to take our picture on vacations because I'm worried about them refusing that or doing something to my phone. Yes, I acknowledge a lot of it's probably just in my head, but bad experiences lead you to be more cautious. People talk about not understanding how a gay bar can be a sanctuary, but sometimes those are the only places where you can relax and not feel like you're being judged. Other than not knowing if someone is okay with you being gay, I'd say not knowing any other IRL gay people. I used to go to an LGBT community center once or twice a week, but then I decided that I needed some time to myself after work, instead of being exhausted all the time from going out. I lost all of my LGBT friends, and I haven't had a single serious relationship because every time I fall for someone, they're not attracted to women. I feel like I'm the only being in the whole country, and it makes me feel unlovable, lonely, and powerless. Gay guys have their own beauty standards that are honestly stressful and difficult to maintain. Straight skinny is gay fat. Minor physical imperfections can disqualify you completely from being considered attractive. Plus, if you can't manage to fit into one of the niche community groups, bear, etc., then you're kind of culturally homeless. My straight male friends can operate on the minimum level of hygiene and upkeep, whereas me and other gay people I know are always compulsively preoccupied with how we look. Our hair, our skin, our body, our mannerisms, it all matters to us. This has the effect of everyone believing that gay people are vain and superficial, which is sometimes true, but it's really about avoiding a double rejection. Many of us have already been rejected by our family and our community, so we need to try to, as hard as we can, to remain in good favor with our new community. Because after a second rejection, all that is left is social ostracism and loneliness. Honestly, there is a sentiment amongst straight people that gay people talk about being gay too much. The truth is that it's a cultural difference between gay and straight communities. But that sentiment is pretty hurtful and dismissive of gay people and their experiences. It makes me less authentic around straight people because I'm having to censor what I say, because you have to constantly monitor yourself for the comfort level of straight people. It's pretty exhausting. And it sucks that this is a pretty mainstream sentiment held by, straight people who don't think it's homophobic. It's similar to telling someone of a different race that they talk about their culture too much. Being gay isn't just about it's, the axis around which most of our relationships rotate.